You're listening to the Daily Sales Tips podcast, and I'm your host, Scott Ingram. Today's tip comes from Quina Feldstein. Quina has recruited and trained over 1,400 sales reps in her career across various industries. Her teams were top 5 in the country out of hundreds. She was number 1 in productivity per rep in the nation, generated millions in revenue, and President's Club every year. She now oversees a team of sales empowerment managers for House of Revenue who execute sales strategies and build sales infrastructure for all their clients. Here she is.
So my tip that I have for you is being off of self and on purpose. Let's talk about the opposite before I dive into what it looks like to be off self on purpose. What does it look like and feel like to be on self off of purpose? And when you're on yourself and you're off of your purpose and off of your objective, this is where that commission breath can be smelled among all of the prospects in the universe, because we're on ourselves. So we're thinking about, am I saying it right? I need this sale. I have to close this. My boss is going to kill me if I don't close this deal. And all we're thinking about is ourselves, and we're not putting ourselves in our prospect's shoes to empathize, to handle objections, and to best work with our prospects and any concerns they may have. So I'm a big proponent on internalizing and memorizing all scripts and objections and any type of collateral that your team gives you, because when you internalize and memorize, then you have the freedom to personalize. A lot of sales teams and salespeople are like, well, it's not like how I speak. I don't really talk like that. And you probably don't. But once you internalize and memorize it word for word, then you can personalize it. So then it becomes more of your own. You want to internalize the program so that way you can be focused on getting off of yourself in a sales call and being more on purpose. Because if you're the opposite, where you're on self off purpose, you're going to be constantly thinking about, am I saying this right? And it's all about if you're doing it the right way versus how you're delivering it. When you can be, off of yourself and on your purpose, then you can focus on how you're saying and how you're delivering. So when you think about being off self and on purpose, this is how I envision it. You walk into a prospective meeting and you see your prospect, and I just like to look at them as a cartoon character with a bunch of bubbles over their head. And all these bubbles are possible fears, objections, and concerns. And when you're truly off of yourself and you're on purpose, you can actually see, this is your superpower, you can see all of the concerns, questions, fears that your prospect has. And it's almost a magic trick. You walk in, and if you're truly off of self and you're on purpose and you're in flow, you'll watch their arms start the meeting. Their arms may be crossed because they're unsure about you, or they're picking lint off their closing because they're just not really that sure about buying. And then if you're popping every fear bubble, you'll watch their arms uncross. So you want to be able to quiet every fear, handle every objection, and handle every concern. Because how's the best way to handle an objection before it happens? You're going to close before the close if you're off of self and you're on purpose. If you're no longer thinking about whether you're saying things right, if you're following the script, if you need to close this deal, how your boss is going to feel, what everyone's thinking about you, and you're truly off of yourself and on your purpose, you can empathize. You can put yourself in your prospect's shoes. You can almost feel the movement of the room before it happens. You can read the minds of your prospects and see the concerns and objections before they even realize they have them. That's when you're truly in flow state and you're off of yourself and you're on purpose.
For more about Quina and Sales BQ, including your opportunity to take the Sales BQ quiz, just click over to DailySales.Tips/906 and we'll have everything for you there. Once you've done that, be sure to come back tomorrow for another great sales tip. Thanks for listening.